You grow up watching your family love what they do. It opens a door to have a career that you love. No, I like it.
Much of Caitlin Cronenberg's family work in the film biz, so being in the spotlight is new for her. For most of her professional career, she was behind the scenes as a photographer, albeit one with an impressive portfolio.
I have a little slideshow here of some of your work.
Adam Driver.
He set leaves on fire, he went in the lake. It's a real joy to have someone who feels so creatively free.
The force of nature that was Carrie Fisher.
Nobody loved their pet more than Carrie loved Gary.
Dan Levy and some friends.
Right? He knows exactly who Dan Levy is and how he's separate from his family legacy.
Right. Recognize this iconic Drake cover? Caitlin shot it.
Of course, the cover is this iconic image, which went viral in a way that I could have never anticipated.
And how about a rock and roll Robert Pattinson?
We drove out an RV into the desert. It was very Breaking Bad and very Mad Max.
And then finally,
Hey, that's me.
tell me about her.
She loved the zoo. I was a very, very shy kid. I grew up, with a very loving family, and I still have a very loving family.
A family many film fans would know. Her father, David Cronenberg, is one of Canada's most prolific and successful filmmakers. His very name, an adjective for spooky, slimy pieces of cinema that get under your skin.
Get him out of here!
But for her, that was just Dad and his friends at work.
For me, watching my dad and then eventually my brother, my mom all work as part of film crews, I would think to myself, wow, you can really love what you do.
But it wasn't her father Caitlin was planning on following.
I don't think I ever consciously decided not to do the thing that my dad is doing.
Right.
My dad's sister was a costume designer, and she was my favorite aunt. I wanted to do what she was doing. And so I would come to set of my dad's movies and hang out with her in the wardrobe trailer.
She went to school to study fashion. When she was asked to take a couple snaps for a shoot, Caitlin had found her calling.
I loved, the simplicity of photography and the fact that you can be alone and do it.
Yeah.
You can also be with a massive crew and everyone's participating and contributing.
Soon, Caitlin Cronenberg's career exploded. She was shooting major campaigns, magazine covers, but she wanted more.
For you, with the family name, there's a lot there. You know what you're going to be dealing with. So what drove you to say, okay, I want more than just single images now. I want movement, I want acting, I want all the rest.
It was actually Annie Murphy, the Schitt's Creek star, that asked Caitlin to direct a music video for a web series.
And that was the first time I ever actually directed something from start to finish.
I don't believe this.
How did you feel, though?
I felt
that first
amazing.
moment? Yeah?
I felt comfortable. I felt like myself. I felt like I had been doing this my whole life.
But for the daughter of David Cronenberg, making your feature film debut is no simple matter.
I am under a bit more of a microscope than if I were just coming out of the gate without any association with anybody else. It's more about preparing myself and making sure that I feel confident sharing my art with the world, knowing that some people will just say, this is garbage, you're a nepo baby. And I'm proud of my family, right? I would never operate under a different name just to avoid this because I'm so proud of the work that they've done and the people who they are.
We must not forget that this is, above all, a human crisis.
And with her squeamish new thriller, she's not shying away. If anything, she's leaning in.
That one of us is leaving here tonight in a body bag.
Humane, Caitlin's first full-length film, takes place in a near future where the effect of climate change forces a family to make brutal choices.
We are so happy you all joined us tonight for a family dinner.
Voluntary euthanasia?
We've decided to enlist.
Except it's not so voluntary.
Hi, I'm Bob.
You're still kind of moving around like in a way that's adjacent to something that we would describe as Cronenberg-esque. So again, I'm starting to think you maybe like that challenge.
I do think that there are elements of darkness that you inherit just from being around it for your whole life. You know, there was a mugwump in my basement, and that's just how I grew up. And what spoke to me about Humane was that it was not a classic horror film. It's a thriller, it's a satire.
And once cameras were rolling, did she go to Dad for advice? Not really.
It's the way that any person asks their parent for advice when they trust a parent, rather than like, hey, Pops, what do I do next here? And he would say, well, you got this.
Think about your lives. One of you is going to realize that it's not all that great.
What's clear Caitlin shares with her father is a certain droll sense of humor, an ability to twist a climate change catastrophe into a bloody good time.
Obviously, this is a family drama that takes place in the midst of an environmental collapse. You know, if people come out of this film thinking, I should really educate myself more about climate change, then I may ask them, how come you haven't already done that? Right. This is not news. But ultimately, this is meant to be a satirical look at what would happen in this extreme situation. And my hope is that people just have a great time and enjoy it.